Did he get another one? Gallo's on his way back. He got it! Maria Lindor again! And shuffled it across. Crosby with a long toss that came to Gensel. Tries to step by. Crosby score! What a
What is going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo here, back with another post-game. Post-game I wasn't even planning on doing because I'm going to be honest, I really didn't watch most of the game. I'm watching AEW Double or Nothing as we speak. So if I'm looking at that way, I'm watching the show still. But we got to talk about, one, the first sweep of the season for the New York Mets. Two, the poverty Philadelphia. Long live the Plum Dog. As always, post-game, Frank and Tub are here. Again, they're going to have to carry because, again, I watched the last two innings, and that's about it. Boys, how was it? I'll start with with Frank. What do you think? Plum Dog, is he like, is he the next Ken Griffey Jr.? What are we doing with the Plum Dog?
I mean, he's off to a good start. It goes into something I said a couple of weeks ago on the Mets Weekly, but for this team, we've just seen so many different guys step up. And I'm not going to use that cliche, next man up. It's literally just like you never know who's going to play hero for the Mets. And in this game, it was multiple heroes of guys stepping up. You know, you had Nogosek, once again, I mean, he was my start of the week. He had the big scoreless ninth inning. You have Plummer tied up in the ninth. And then you have Escobar winning the 10th, who really, I mean, if he doesn't come through in that at bat, he was on pace for just an absolutely terrible game where he's getting booed by the people at Citi Field. Everybody and their mama and their grandma is bashing him on Twitter. Oh, he's no good. And it was getting into his head because you see the Phillies repeatedly intentionally walking Alonso. And they did that in that 10th inning. So, I mean, you just could see Escobar was completely fed up and was just like, I can't let them keep disrespecting me like this. And he comes through. And it's somebody that you would never expect because he's so bad in high leverage and he doesn't come through when it matters and bad with runners in scoring position. So, but when it's against the Phillies bullpen, it seems like anything is possible. And in particular with this team, I mean, I tweeted it, but one of my big takeaways was, you remember last year when the Mets had that game against Cincinnati and they didn't intentionally walk Jesse Winker? Or that game against Miami and they didn't intentionally walk De La Cruz and they would just face batters and lose games? The fact that Buck instantly walked Bryce Harper to face Roman Quinn, I was like, bam. I mean, they say, like, you know, managers don't matter too much, but when you go from Rojas to Buck, it matters. Like, you could just see this team never gives up. It seemed like the team was dead, but Plummer was like, nope, and it's just another series win, and Philadelphia just, I mean, that team is brutal. I mean, there's no other way around it.
I mean, I am, as Elias puts, Ozzy. As a Phillies fan, I am heartbroken. You know, it's a shame Bryce Harper has to deal with this poverty ass franchise. Trade Bryce to the Mets. Bryce, you want out, bro? We'll take you. Give him Beatty. Give him Mauricio. We're all probably lagging. Frank's lagging a little bit. Your audio is fine. Your camera's a little weird, but your audio is still fine. But yeah, get Bryce Harper up out of there. Fire Dave Dombrowski. Fire Joe Girardi. Fire everybody in the organization. Trade Schwarber. Just blow it up. You know, send Wheeler back to the Mets. You know, as a Phillies fan, I am heartbroken. I have a actually, I do have a fanatic. I actually do have a fanatic here. So, you know, I am a Phillies fan. Tub. Reactions to this game. You watched more. You watched more of it. Obviously, I mean, you watched that ninth.
I watched the whole fucking thing, man. This is my team. Come on now. Bassett looked great. Great bounce back start from him. Mets won. They swept the series. But all I got to say is Lindor going 0 for 5. What a bum. Get rid of him. He's awful. God. Awful. Terrible player. Bust. Not allowed to have a bad game. He stinks. But other than that, no. Nick Plummer, what a freaking stud that man is. You knew that guy could wallop the ball. If he's going to make contact with it, that thing's going to go over the fence, and he destroyed that thing. What was it, 112, 113? Destroyed the baseball.
Yeah, 112.8.
At the perfect time, ties the game at 4. And then Eduardo Escobar, he woke up. Look at that. I told him he's terrible at high leverage, and he said, fuck you. There you go. Thanks.
And so did I.
Thank you for
And-
doing
There
it.
you go. I'll go through the last one.
And I,
What do you got, Frank?
yeah, I was gonna say, up to that point, Nick Plummer was not having a good game. You know, he had the couple of strikeouts, he had the missed play in left field, and he was, waiting for that first major league hit. And you have a guy like J.D. Davis on your bench who's supposed to be, a more productive hitter, a more established hitter. And in that scenario, I was thinking, would Buck consider maybe pinch hitting JD for Plummer there? But even though it would have been righty on righty matchup, but he sticks with Plummer and it pays off. And then when asked after the game, Buck said he felt that was the best option. I feel like that was really telling of how Buck is feeling about JD Davis right now. And it's just very clear that we already could tell that Dom and JD don't have much of a role on this team. And you could also now tell that Buck is losing his confidence in those players. So I'm just really curious to see how the Mets sort this thing out. They need to get Brandon Nimmo back in this lineup soon. I hope he could come back in this Washington series. When they were interviewing him last night, if you've heard that when Fox broadcast was talking to him, he said the injury isn't too serious and he should be back really soon. Like, there isn't much concern. So I hope that he is back. And then I noticed with Jeff, when he grounded out, he didn't start today, he still wasn't running 100%. So I feel like there could be some lingering effects from that crash in San Francisco. So they've got to get that sorted out because, Dom Smith was just once again absolutely brutal today. It's just like game after game where Dom is in there and he's doing a whole bunch of nothing. So that just can't be happening on a consistent basis from your DHs. And in this case, Dom was playing first, but still, just him being in that lineup. And like I said the other day, the fact that he says, "Oh, I want to play every day," you just haven't shown that. You get the opportunities, and you're doing nothing with it.
I'm surprised we're seeing. I'm
I'm
surprised we're seeing less of J.D. Davis and Dom Smith because Dom Smith's been worse than J.D. Davis, and J.D. Davis has hit into his hard luck, and J.D.'s a good hitter. He's a frustrating hitter, but he's a good hitter, and that's the thing. So I'm surprised that. Maybe it's just because of the DH flexibility, and you also can put Alonso at the DH position, but like the fact that Dom Smith gets more playing time than J.D. Davis, you are kind of comparing again, piss to shit right now, but like J.D. has at least shown that he can swing the bat pretty well, and Dom has just looked lost all year, aside from, a few good plate appearances where he actually looks promising, but he has not found any of that consistency for the last 2 years at this point. So I don't really know how they're going to address this. Are they going to keep them as a tag team on the bench? Are they going to choose between one of them? Are they going to trade for a DH or try to bring in somebody, call up the PLUMDAWG like we've been saying, maybe give that guy a chance because they already called up Nick Plummer, and look what just happened tonight. Might as well give these guys a chance while you're nursing a few injuries, but I don't know, man. It's just you're just seeing a lot of holes on the team. It's not. We've always talked about having this big bench and all these options and all these different bad options is a good problem to have. Well, I'm not really seeing it as a good problem to have anymore. So, the tides have definitely turned.
And I'll say this, especially relating to Nimmo and Jeff. Thank God we play the Nationals these next 3 days and have a day off. And we have a day off again on Thursday before the Dodgers series. So we shouldn't need both of them to beat the Nationals.
No,
let's
no
be
day
honest
off
here. We shouldn't. So it's no day off. Okay, so it's 4 with the Dodgers.
No, it's a 1
no,
o'clock
I'm sorry.
game on Wednesday because they have to travel for the 10 o'clock game on Thursday. Yeah, it's a brutal stretch of games coming up. The next off day is next Thursday, June 9th.
So after
in between the Padres and Angels series.
So after Mets Weekly, we got Taijuan Walker on the mound against the Dodgers. Yes! Oh my God!
Is it Friday night? Well, they have Bassett lined up. Oh no! Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah. So,
just don't suck, dude. Don't suck.
I wonder when McGill's going to be ready because it seemed like he was progressing like pretty well, but I haven't heard anything for him in a while.
I
I
think
say we
probably
get
him
on
in
that
June.
off day
He'll
is
be
probably when
back.
you get him back to the Angels series.
Last
Yeah,
week
if I
of
say the
May,
Angels
first week of
series,
June.
I think that's probably good. Yeah, so even still. Again, obviously you would like to get him back for that Dodgers series. But again, with the Nationals now, you took the sweep of the Phillies. You got a good chance to sweep the Nationals. You can go into that series. Now you're 10.5 over the Phillies. The Braves won today, which sucks. But you could go into that potential Dodgers series with a 10.5 game lead. If let's say the Braves lose 2 games and you win 2 of the 3, and maybe even a sweep, because who knows. But as the Heels won. Cool. So Eduardo Escobar, since obviously we talked about the plum dog. Frank, this is your time. Even though you've taken the opportunity, you can go a little more. You can go crazy. This is your guy. He showed up finally. 2 RBIs today, by the way. 2 RBIs.
It could
One
have
in the
been
first
more
and
if
one
the
in the
game
10th.
wasn't over. He could have drove in Alonso as well. So, I mean, getting a little unlucky, should have another RBI. But, I mean, it's okay as long as he wins the game. But I think there's one of the things I was thinking about during the course of the game was when the Phillies kept intentionally walking Escobar. Intentionally walking Alonso to face Escobar. It's like, man, the Mets really need somebody not named Escobar to bat behind Alonso when Eduardo was struggling. And normally that's Jeff. But Jeff got the off day today, so you're like, okay, well, who else could do it? And it's like Mark Canha theoretically could do it. Like, I wonder, would Philadelphia still intentionally walk Alonso if Canha was batting behind him? But it seems to me that Buck is kind of reluctant to bat those righties back to back. But I think it comes to the point where Pete Alonso has been so important for this team. You just got to have pitchers pitching to him. Like, it's okay that a righty's batting behind him when it gets to this level of teams just completely avoiding Alonso, because that was a huge problem that they weren't pitching to him tonight.
The crazy thing is, what's really crazy to me is that there's actually a hitter in this lineup, and we haven't had this for a long time. There's a hitter in this lineup that teams actually fear. Like, Alonso has been on a freaking tear this year. And we all know if he makes contact with the ball, the thing's going over the fence. So, it's crazy how we have a guy like the fear, like a type of hitter, like, Piazza type of hitter, like a, Darryl Strawberry type of hitter that's actually feared in the Mets lineup. Because for those who actually like want to talk about it, I mean, this is not a hitter's franchise, so we don't really see that type of shit.
We never had an
happen,
MVP ever in the whole franchise.
We have never had an MVP. We have had
and if the
guys
Mets
leave
keep this
and win
kind
MVP.
of record, if the Mets keep this kind of record, he has a really good chance at winning, especially if he's driving as many runs as
even
he
though,
has.
Even though we should have 3 MVPs, but that's the story for another day.
And one of the things I was thinking about is that when you look at the way Canha is getting on base, I just think that if let's say you have the full team healthy, I think 1 through 5, it should be Nimmo, Canha, Lindor, Alonso, McNeil. I think that should be 1 through 5. And then you can kind of experiment. Then you could go maybe Marte 6, Escobar 7th. If Escobar is playing well, you can go Escobar 6, and then you have to kind of figure it out from there. But the problem is that if you're starting Dom and you're starting Mazika, then it seems like those lefties are going to bat back-to-back, which they did today. I mean, they had 3 lefties bat back-to-back today, actually, which is really surprising. But, I mean, it just seems like that's where they're at right now, with the McCann injury, with the, Nimmo being out. So I feel like this was kind of one of those rare times where you're going to see those 3 lefties bat back-to-back. So, but I just think it's something the Mets have to consider. There's something that I always wonder about with, like, these modern-day managers is, like, what's more important, having guys that actually mesh together well, like stringing your good hitters together, or just having lefty righty, and it could still end up being like good hitter, bad hitter, good hitter, bad hitter. So that's something I would really like to see them kind of sort out a little bit.
Like one thing, especially going back to like the Lindor or Alonso being walked. When do you have the idea of maybe putting Alonso in front of Lindor? And put maybe Lindor or Pete back in the 2 spot, and Lindor in a 3 spot, and then move Marte in a 9 hole as the second DH. Because when do we start doing like I know, it's cool to have 3, 4, and 5. That's more the old school style of lineup. You put your 3 and 4 hitters, Pete, obviously the cleanup guy. But when do we go back to maybe the new age? Metsfan has clamored last year about 2-hole Pete. when do we start maybe putting Nimmo, Alonso, Lindor back at the top of the lineup, and then maybe put Canna and Escobar like
here's
split it up,
why.
and then maybe.
Here's why I was raving about 2-hole Pete is that obviously you have a power dynamic and everything into that lineup, putting a power hitter batting second. You've seen a lot of success with that, but also the offense last year was so fucking bad that you needed to try some kind of combination. This year, the offense has been good. So you can put Pete anywhere and he's going to be red hot. You can put, Lindor anywhere and he's going to do well. So there's a lot more of a difference. But other than that, I mean,
yeah, because Lindor and McNeil both were not swinging nearly as good bats last year as they are this year.
Not at all.
And you also didn't have Marte at the top of the order. Again, he's doing some things. I mean, Marte hasn't been great, but he's been pretty good, I would say. I mean, he had a couple today. He had that triple. So, I mean,
he's been better than Eduardo Escobar. What a bum that dude is.
No, but let's think in today's scenario. Like, think of today's scenario. Like Alonso here. Do you think the Phillies still walk Alonso if Lindor's batting behind him? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe they should just consider batting Canna after him on days when McNeil can't play, and just see if they still do it. You know, I mean, you don't know until you try. Unless Escobar does actually heat up, then it's like, okay, fine. But with the way he was been struggling, I mean, it made, and with how well Pete was swinging, it made a lot of sense what the Phillies were doing. And I just don't want to see that. That was like a major red flag. That was tough to watch.
I think, to be honest, I don't even think Nimmo needs to come back. Guillorme in the leadoff spot, just do that until you get to the World Series at this point. Guillorme's been red hot.
I mean, he's made the most of it. He's made the most of it for sure.
Yeah, you can't have Guillorme starting every day, man. He's just not that good, man.
But the thing we were talking,
it will not fly.
Yeah.
Oh. Especially he's getting barrels now. He's getting barrels.
We were talking earlier about the whole sharing the playing time of Dom and JD. I feel like Buck has gone a lot of it. Like, if you're facing a righty, Dom plays. If you're facing a lefty, JD plays. So that's why Dom has gotten the majority of the ABs, because you're facing more right-handed pitchers. But like I said, Mets Weekly, it's gotten to the point now where you say, forget that. When you're facing a righty, have Escobar DH instead of Dom, and have Guillorme play third. If you have a fully healthy lineup and nobody's getting an off day, they have to do it. I mean, it's gotten to that point now where, like, the disparity between Guillorme and Dom, they're on two different planets right now. So, I mean, it's just such a no-brainer to me.
I say put the dumbest lineup out there and see if you can win with it, because they've been winning so much. You know what? I'll get Guillorme out there in the face.
I mean,
you know.
I mean, the Nationals are a team you probably could experiment with.
I mean, Jeff McNeil, the emergency catcher, get him out there. You know.
I mean, this lineup does have the versatility where it's like you theoretically could have Guillorme lead off, Marte, Canna, McNeil, Lindor, Nimmo. Like, I mean, you have a lot of different combinations you can go with. And the Mets, they've had their offensive success here or there. I'd say this whole week, for the most part, they've been pretty good offensively, but they still haven't really found that true consistency. We're still seeing a lot of guys moving around.
And we're talking about a team that is third in Team WRC Plus right now that hasn't found its consistency yet. So
right. And I still think
they're tied for
the way
second.
The Mets.
Excuse me. Tied for second.
Okay. I think the way the Mets are handling this, which makes a ton of sense, is right now we know they're under that fourth tier of luxury tax, where if you go over it, one of those 2 draft picks goes back 10 slots. They're waiting until the draft. Then once the draft happens, with the way the Mets are on the run right now, if they're anywhere close to this, they're getting that big bat at the deadline and then going over that 4th tier without having the draft affected at all, because the draft will already be over and done with. So I really hope that this is just kind of a temporary problem. And then once the draft is over, you can get that other big power bat that would really give that day in, day out protection behind P. Alonso that could get the majority of DH reps, where you're not saying sometimes it's Dom, sometimes it's JD, sometimes it's, whoever. Like, you just have that one stable guy.
We've talked about talked about this so many times.
All you got to do is call Syracuse.
Survive to the deadline, and then you're good.
Yep.
Especially when you also got these guys coming back, like DeGrom and Scherzer. You know, those little guys. You know, they don't really matter, but you know,
They don't matter pitching,
they don't really matter. They're
But hey,
little extra pitching depth, here and there. But Dallas Keuchel's the real star
just call up.
that you got to get in.
Keuchel is the real star, but we could talk about that for a minute in a second. But
Ooh,
just call up Vientos. Cost you nothing. Like it costs you nothing, and you get your power back for legit nothing. And then hey, if you want to go out and say, you know what, let's have a stupid rotation because never have enough pitching. Or you want to add a stupid reliever or 2 or 3 because
They
we
could
do
use
have
another
negative,
reliever.
a
They could use
negative.
another reliever.
No,
Or 2 or 3.
Trust the arms. Trust the arms. Nope. Holderman.
Holderman's about to be
go
like
six,
Holderman will be the
Trust
eighth
them
inning.
all.
Will be the setup man by the end of next week. At this point, this Holderman will be the
It's-
fucking setup man.
It's on that pace
No,
right now.
I mean, I like some of the arms we have in AAA. So, but no, you can never have enough arms. Dallas Keuchel, you up, kid? I mean, you want to try it out? Why not?
It won't cost anything, Once everything
JT Riddle
once everything
pick?
clears, probably not.
I doubt he's just a pain in the ass. I don't hate the idea of Keuchel. I mean, if it's for free, take it. It's better than Thomas Sapocki. Like if it's $700K, and if he sucks, you cut him. And again, you're not paying like the Cano and like what the White Sox are paying, $18 million. Like it's $700K. It's worth the flyer. Give Hefner. He's got a change up, and Hefner loves fixing guys' change up. So just help. And again, you just need 2, maybe 1 to 2 fluky starts. That's all you need.
And he's
then
had
you're going to
terrible
get
batting
McGill
ball
back.
luck this season. So
He's a
he
ground
is
ball
going to be a
pitcher.
god.
Yeah, he's a ground ball pitcher. So
The ground ball pitch.
He's had
that's what
terrible
happens.
luck. Terrible.
I mean, the difference between
think-
having
think
Tim
about it.
Anderson at short and Lindor at short, I mean, that'll help him out tremendously.
Oh
so.
God, that's night and day.
Yeah.
That's night
nah.
and day.
But I think
we have to bring him in because he's a
No,
four-time
I was just gonna
All-Star and
say-
Cy Young. We need that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, former Cy Young, he's elite in MLB The Show, so I mean that's always a great
Elite
sign
MLB The
for,
Show.
yeah, that's always a great sign for player evaluation. We know Epdog loves his good MLB The Show cards, so that would definitely be another nice get for the rotation.
Yo, is Plummer gonna get an MLB The Show card now?
I think he has to, right, Andrew?
He
For that
might.
hit,
He
has
might
to
get a Topps Now
card.
card.
Hey, big moment. All right, first ever Major League home run on Sunday night.
Zika got one. I mean, the
Yeah,
Plumdawg
that's
next
a
week, who knows?
Tops Now if I ever seen it.
Go
That's a
ahead.
Tops Now if I ever
Go
seen it.
off.
And it was
Hell,
like
Zika
so
got
big
one. Give one to the
because
Plumdawg, baby.
yeah, and it was so big because on the broadcast, like Met fans were really into, we were one strike away from getting out of that 8th inning with Castellanos and having a 3-1 lead. And then once he hit that home run, the place was silent. And the broadcast was going on and on. Oh, we thought the Mets were going to go away with this. Oh, it's going to be a sweep. Oh, now the momentum's turning, and the Phillies have the lead, and they can win it. And the broadcast just kept going on and on and on. And then it's just like it happened so quick. First pitch, you come back from commercial break. And Plummer did hit a lucky one. He had hit a little league one. I mean, that was 113 gone in the blink of an eye, upper deck. And it just completely changed momentum of this game. And you just felt that if the Mets could get out of that 10th inning with some help from Eduardo Escobar, nice catch on the railing. I mean, I know we want to talk about the hit, but the catch wasn't too bad. Not too shabby.
Eddie Chavez.
Not bad,
over here.
Yeah, so I feel like once the Mets got that 10th, you just felt like with the speed at second of
Yep.
Marte, you have Lindor and Alonso who have been RBI machines. You just felt like you were going to win that game once you got out of the 10th. And
I mean-
Diaz got the job done.
Listen, regarding the memes of Edwin Diaz, that's the number one guy to get out of a runner on second
Because he
scenario.
has the strikeout
That's going to be your guy.
potential.
He's a big strike thrower. You got a lot of strikeout guys in that lineup. He was going to be the guy to take that out. If you don't score in that extra inning rule, you're pretty much done. You're done.
Because the problem is
Done.
that I think had the Mets not scored in the 10th, Trevor Williams was the only guy that was really left, So
Yeah.
you're just going to have to say,
Left. Yeah.
do every what you can. And he's probably still kind of tired from just
Trevor
basically
Williams' arm is
starting
going to
against San
fall off
Francisco.
eventually.
Yeah,
his
I-
arm is-
And you're gonna need him for the national.
Right, exactly. You're definitely going to
So,
need him. And the other thing was with Joely Rodriguez. I mean, I know he has good stuff, but those walks were pretty brutal.
Yeah.
You just feel like Joelly's one of those. There was times, especially against a guy like Camargo, when Camargo is sandwiched between guys like Schwarber and Harper, it's like that's the guy you have to attack. You've got to throw strikes. You can't be walking Camargo. And you just feel like Joelly can't get a strike if he needs to, and that kind of worries me.
He's good. He's a soft contact god, but
the walks could hurt him. That's the problem. And speaking of soft contact, I don't know what is happening to Chasen Shreve. This guy, he's becoming, just home runs, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
And even against a lefty in Stubbs, that was crazy.
They're
both lefty. Yeah.
And that's really a shame because Carrasco's having an amazing start. The Mets were on the verge of having a laugher, and all of a sudden that game got really competitive on Friday. So the bullpen, it's definitely had its cracks in it this week. They were able to get out of it.
I just think they have the options in AAA.
But
if they need to touch it up, like Alex Claudio could definitely replace Shreve if Shreve continues to struggle like this. I want to see Locke St. John eventually, but we'll see what happens.
And now
Claudio would be the first guy.
Possibilities.
Yeah,
and you guy they have. Who's that other lefty?
Montgomery, but he's not really a reliever.
Not Montgomery. That guy, go away.
Josh Walker?
Or whatever the hell.
Josh Walker's Strinsky. That's another guy. They have another one called crap. Who was that left? They signed him. Oh, Nate Fisher. Is that who it is? The Nate Fisher?
Yeah, Fisher. Yeah.
Why not?
They definitely have some other guys they could explore.
Also, okay, here's something I want to address.
Who's the other reliever that just got DFA? Michael Mayer. Did he get claimed?
Yeah, from the Angels.
The guy used to be for the Angels reliever.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of stinks. But
he got claimed or no?
Bring him on.
Did he get claimed or no?
I haven't seen him get claimed by
former player of the month card.
Right.
So another
guy. Thing I want to talk about. Drew Smith, let the ball go, man. What was that?
Oh my God!
You can't risk injury like that. You've been injured your entire career, bro. Come on.
That was a scary scene, man. Dude's pinky was all
that made my
messed
hand hurt.
And
that made my
X-rays are
entire
negative,
hand
so
hurt.
we'll see.
My entire hand was like twitching the whole time when I was watching that.
So the problem is that Ottavino threw 20 pitches last night, and now he pitched again like 17 pitches. So you're, in all likelihood, you don't have Ottavino for tomorrow. You don't have Drew Smith for tomorrow. There's no way he's pitching right away. Lugo, he's probably going to be available, but he just pitched, 2 days in a row, like Saturday and Friday. He should have never pitched Friday, by the way, 8-2 game. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, again, they're playing it pretty tough with the bullpen. They're going to need.
Is Yohan Lopez?
He got sent back down for Plummer.
He'll probably be back.
He got sent back down for Plummer.
They'll bring him back up. They'll bring up.
He's probably going to replace Drew Smith, right?
Well, I don't know if Drew Smith's going on the IL.
Yeah,
he's not going on the IL?
They haven't said anything. They said it was day to day. It wasn't it wasn't a fracture.
Here we go. Here comes the collapse. Oh no.
But what I don't like is that you have guys like on the roster but not technically available. So it's tough now because you don't have the 10-day IL anymore. It's a 15-day IL. Where what Drew Smith has right now is it's not going to take more than 10 days, so you just don't want to lose him those extra 5 days that you would definitely have him available. So that's what they're trying to negotiate right now. But I think it's going to be really important in this Washington series to make sure that you get a lot of long innings from your starting pitchers. This way you can have the bullpen as rest as possible for the Dodgers series. I think that's what's going to come down to.
I don't think you're going to get much from David Peterson. You're probably going to get 5 innings at most.
Well, they had him throw 100 pitches
they can probably slice him through that Nationals lineup, but
because he pitched 100 pitches. I think it was his last start, or it was very recent. I think it was last start against the Giants. He threw 100 pitches, so I think you probably got to do that again. And right now on Bleacher Report, they have Trevor Williams starting Game 2. That's what they have on Bleacher Report. I don't know if that's who the Mets are going to use, but again, same with Trevor Williams.
It's going to be someone like that,
Yeah, you probably got to push him because you just can't tire the bullpen against a team like the Nationals when you know you're going to need him for the Dodgers.
Yeah, where's Yenty Diaz been? Is he hurt or something?
I feel like he is.
I know
because I have not seen
him, right? And they put him back to. I don't know why they DFA'd him.
I could have, and I think he cleared.
Was he out of options?
I thought he might have
I could definitely see
some
He
Washington
has
options
one
being
minor league
best
option. Why did they
year.
DFA him?
Maybe they made some
Probably
make space on the
roster
40 man. Yeah, probably need to make
Maybe
space
it's
on the 40
possible.
man. But I mean, he's been pitching in Syracuse with an 11 ERA, so I wouldn't count on it.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
And he's pitched a lot of innings.
He's thrown 9.2 innings.
9.2 innings.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I mean, 2 home runs, but we'll see. I mean, he's someone that did have some intrigue, but I mean, even Medina, like I always liked Medina.
Yeah.
I just feel like could have got some guts, but I mean, we'll see what happens. I hope it doesn't get to that point.
I'll say the name. I won't be surprised on Tuesday if you bring back Sapaki. I wouldn't be surprised. Just to, again, for the Nationals.
It's the
Nationals.
No, I don't care. No.
If one, you should be blowing them out, and two,
instead
have him eat
of that fucking loser.
I'd rather have Nagosic make a start. I know he can only go like 3 innings at most, but I'd still freaking do it.
I'm putting Jake Reed on the mound.
I just don't see them calling it. I'm
putting JD Davis on the mound over that fucking Thomas Sapaki.
I don't know why they won't. That's what bugs me so much is that they talked about JD like when we first acquired him as a guy that had some pitching experience. He's never pitched with the Mets, and I just don't get why. Like there have been a lot of instances where they could have used him. Makes no sense.
So he'll bring
Nate Fisher's in Double A. I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
What'd you say, Andrew?
He's 26 years old. I don't know why he's. Hold on, let me figure this out.
My only issue with Budo. Yeah, I was gonna say my only issue with Budo is that he's pitching in Double A. I just don't think they're gonna call a guy straight from Double A. You know, I just feel that's a pretty big jump to go from Double A to the majors. But
I mean, not everybody can be Michael.
It's not like they called the guy Jakob deGrom up from Binghamton. You know, I'm not Jolly Olive here calling him the next Jacob deGrom. I'm just saying.
Don't start this again.
No, I'm sorry.
Nate Fisher's actually pitched very well in Double A this year.
Yeah, I mean, so then, that's the other guy. I can't wait till we get him back. He's John Curtis. I can't wait till he's next year.
Actually, he's going to be mediocre.
Speaking of,
do we think we're getting Lucchese at any point this year?
I don't think you're getting.
No,
I don't think Lucchese's coming back this year. I'm going to tell you right now.
Yamamoto is pitching and throwing rehab games, so he could be an option.
He's not on the 40, man.
He has been pitching, so
I don't think they like Yamamoto.
We got to make
room
for him.
It seems that way. But I don't understand how they sent him down like in spring training, like instantly. It was so fast. He didn't even get a chance. So I thought that was really odd.
He was pitching pretty well in like scrimmage games. Was he doing bad in minor league spring training or something? Like
he got sent down to minor league spring training super fast. Like he didn't even get to really do the major league spring training.
So, as we've reached the half-hour mark, but you guys want any last reminding thoughts? Because Punk and Hangman is getting ready to start, and I'm probably not going to want to be live for that because I'm probably going to be screaming like a little child. Any other last-minute thoughts going into the National Series? Talking about the sweep? Anything you guys want to bring up, Frank?
I think called the Nick Plummer home run today.
Yeah,
I called it.
It's great.
You did.
I see your name, Frank.
No, I was gonna say I want to see the Mets give Juan Soto the P. Alonso treatment. Just walk Juan Soto every time.
Did it to Bryce Harper, so let's see if they do it again.
Yeah, I mean, like, let Nelson Cruz beat you, and that's that. I mean, just I can't. I just can't watch because think about Juan Soto. He literally like no one gets on in front of him anyway, so you just walk him and that's it. Because he's the only guy that you really
no one gets on in front of him regularly, but against the Mets they do.
Well, yeah, then you have like your Yadiel Hernandez's and all your other annoying bums.
D. Strange Gordon.
Oh yeah.
There's too many Met killers on that team for me to be like so confident that we're gonna sweep them or take that.
Oh, Maikel Franco too. Forgot about Maikel.
Yeah.
Forgot about Maikel Franco. So.
Anyway,
Metsfan, you got any last deciding words?
Call up
Plummer. Not Plummer, Polka.
Call up.
Like, I mean, because one other thing is that, like, we talk about, like, Dom is struggling. like even if Dom was going well, he still has no power. Like at least Palka, we know for a fact has power, I just think we know this team is missing the power
Wyatt
element. He also doesn't have power. He's too small. But I think, like you said,
No,
we
tiny
know, and like I
man.
said, Palka did on a major league level at one point in his career. So it's worth a shot. It really, really is. I mean, you just never know. Like you said, if it doesn't work out, you just send him back down. Like you at least give it a shot, because especially if Dom wants to play every day. Listen, I mean, I would love to just see a team pick up Dom and start him every day and see how they do. Look what happened with the Padres and Cano. The Mets just got rid of Cano. Padres took him, and he sucks. I mean, so do the same with Dom. You want to start so badly? Go be another team's problem. You can start every day, stink up
And
the
here's
joint
the thing,
with Palka and bombs.
I don't know if they're just like waiting it out because
The problem is there's no trade value right now. Like there is no chance that anyone's calling the Mets
I
and
don't
being
know
like,
if they're
"Oh,
just
we need
waiting
Dom."
it out because Palka doesn't have a minor league option left.
I just
And
don't
they
get
must
it.
like him, so they don't want to lose him if they're going to try to move him off the roster. But like, there's two guys he can replace right now, but I'm not saying that like Palka's not that good, but it's just like
Dom is just that bad though.
Dom is just
That's the
that
bigger
bad.
issue. Yeah, that's the bigger issue.
Like,
It's just like
Dom's just
I've
gotta
seen
go.
enough.
It's enough already.
I've seen it. Like it's time to move on. It really, really is.
It's just the
Turn
way.
the
It's
page.
just the way that he's been shadowed in. It's just the fact that he was a first overall pick and he showed nothing of that. Like it's enough already. Like
Yeah,
if it was a guy that wasn't highly regarded of, then no. But like he's a first round pick. This guy was a first round pick, and not just like a few years ago. Like he has a few years.
No,
This
it was a
back in
while ago.
2013. This is almost
Yeah.
10 years from now that he was picked in the first round. Like
You
it's enough
wonder.
already.
You wonder if Sandy has anything to do with that. Maybe Sandy is kind of like,
Possible.
since it was one of his guys, he doesn't want to give up on him altogether. I wonder if maybe that's
Hey,
part of it, but
He didn't
still.
talk to Conforto at all, and he's one of his big guys. So
Well, again, I mean, Conforto's a different situation because it's free agency. I think it was up to. I mean, listen, Conforto coming back to the Mets is
he also
still not
didn't
dead.
up the offer to Syndergaard either. That was his big deal. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I mean, Conforto could still come back. It's still technically possible.
no, he's never coming back. Nope.
I'm just saying.
He's off. It's never happening. Nope.
We've got
He's-
one
he's not
unclutched
clutch.
player. We don't need another one.
He's not clutch. It's not happening.
And we
Just saying.
especially don't
I'm
want to
done
sign him
talking
in
about
June.
Michael Conforto.
We
Everyone
don't want
can
him in June.
Shut up already.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Yeah, I got.
I'm done talking about Michael Conforto. All
We
right.
don't want him in
Over.
June. Sign him in July.
Let the guy recover from shoulder surgery. All right. It's over. Leave me alone.
It's worth a try.
On that note, semi-main is over. I will, if again you guys have any content, because I'm gonna plug I will have a video out tomorrow. I made the thumbnail, recorded it, edited it. It's ready to go. I just have to transfer it from my PC to my phone, and then I will upload it sometime tomorrow. Talk with top 100 prospect review and what I think about it. Kind of a rough. I wouldn't say a rough list, but there's some griping. That's all in the next video coming out tomorrow. Maybe a post game for that Wednesday game. And then we'll see, obviously, Mets Weekly on Thursday. We'll see how happy we're going to be. Maybe back-to-back sweeps, a nice little 6-game winning streak going into the hell that is next week. Take that. Maybe a 10.5. Maybe hell. I'm calling the Mets are going to have a 12.5 game lead going into that Dodgers series. That's how I don't even know who the Braves are playing. I don't even know who the Braves are playing. They could be playing the Rays. I don't know. But the Mets are just whooping ass. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. All these guys are linked down in the description down below. Their Twitter. Okay, they're doing that on Wednesday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.